today I'm going to do Jillian at Home's Happily Married tag. A lot of vloggers have done this, and this is kind of like a advice type tag, I guess you would say, from a single woman to married women. So I'm going to answer the questions to the best of my ability. But yeah, so here goes. So it's kind of in 3 different sections. So the first section is pre-hubby. Did you date much before you met your husband? Yes. Even though we married kind of young, I definitely dated a lot. Like nothing really serious. I had like 2 to 3 serious relationships before my husband, but I did a lot of dating and kind of figuring out the type of man I wanted to be with and things that were values to me and things that were important to me in relationships. And you definitely, you know, learn along the way. And for me, it worked out well because I learned a lot of things that were important to me that I didn't think that they were, and you know, things that weren't important to me that I thought that would be. Did online dating exist when you were dating? Would you have used it if it was? It did exist when I was dating, and I probably would have. There's no, I don't think there's a stigma on it like there was. I mean, I think as long as you're smart and you really, you know, get to know someone as much as you can via messaging or talking or, you know, iPhone, FaceTiming and things like that. And I mean, it's like awesome these days to really like dig up dirt on people, and there's definitely ways that you can do it. So definitely do your research on someone before you meet them, and, you know, meet in public places and things like that. What do you think are the best places to meet a great guy? I think through friends. Like, that's how me and Jeff got together. We actually became friends, and I would actually like confide in him about like dating and relationships and stuff like that. And we were actually really close friends for a long time before we decided to date. Like, I'm talking like me and him were friends for 3 years. He had a crush on me. I had no idea because I was just off doing my own thing. But it really, I think, I mean, you are the company you keep to a point. So it's like if you're hanging around people that are the same type of person as you are, I think it really helps you kind of, I don't know, make good decisions and be around people that are similar to you and, you know, situations like that. I wouldn't meet someone in a bar or a club because, I mean, it's just not going to be a solid relationship, I don't think. I mean, yeah, there's rare occasions, but it's like most of the time people that are at bars and stuff aren't there for a relationship, if that makes any sense. Let's see. Oh, darn it, I lost where I was. What qualities would you tell single women to look for in a man? For me personally, I want someone that is a hard worker, as I'm a hard worker, and I am not one to like have someone that lays around on the couch and has a huge to-do list and doesn't ever check it off. I think someone that's family oriented is very important. See how they treat their family, how they treat their friends. If it's someone that's kind of like a loner, it makes you like wonder why can they not hold relationships and stuff like that. Obviously someone that's caring and honest and truthful, and someone that likes kids, and someone that likes animals, and someone that likes those things that shows that they have compassion and, you know, care and selflessness for others besides themselves. What do you want?
I don't need help on it. I just need to know what these words mean. Extravagant.
Google them on your phone.
Why? I was never here.
You know, so for me personally, those are things I found important. And, you know, I mean, you need to be, there's like these really funny like memes on Facebook and stuff, like make sure you can eat cereal in the same room as your future spouse, or make sure you can deal with your spouse when the internet's broken. You know, those little things that show you like if someone's like an obnoxious eater, it drives me nuts. And like my husband is an obnoxious eater, and like he and I like fight about it all the time. And there's just those little quirks that you want to make sure that you like find out about someone before you get too involved. And I'm not saying don't date someone because of the way that they eat, but it's like if someone's just totally obnoxious, it's not going to be someone that you want to be around. I mean, it's just not. But yeah. What dating advice will you give to your daughter? I I don't want my daughter's not going to date. We're just going to put her in like a cage until she's 30, and then maybe we'll release her to the lions. My daughter's a lot like me. I was raised to not put up with anything from anybody, and I don't. And I'm very strong-willed, and I don't need a man to do anything. And I am very confident in that. And I had a very good career going, and I had a very good life going before I met my husband. Before I met my husband, I'm about 5 years younger than my husband. And I had a very good job, and I had a very nice car, and I had my own apartment, and I was doing my own thing. And I want my daughter to be the same way. I want her to not be reliant on anyone but herself. And I want her to have that fiery personality that she has right now. And I want her to not put up with crap from anybody, because that will just show a man that she's strong and she can take care of herself and she's not putting up with crap. So don't give her any, because she's not down. And I truly believe that your children are watching your relationship with your spouse. And that's very important, because they're seeing what kind of wife they should be, what kind of mom they should be, what kind of, how she should be treated by her spouse. And there are things, there are times when my husband and I may snip at each other. I'm like, we gotta stop. We can't do this in front of the kids. I don't want the kids to see the bad parts of a relationship, because I don't want them to think that's how a relationship should be. And I think that you really gotta really just try to keep your issues away from your kids, so that they can really see the strong parts of your relationship and really feed off those and develop good relationships. Because I wasn't raised around good relationships, and it was hard at first. I may not be the most affectionate person, and I know that's a problem with my husband, but it's the way that I was raised, unfortunately. And you're definitely teaching them by example, and I think that's really important to remember at times. All right, so now on to early days. How did you meet your husband, and how old were you? My husband was actually my mechanic. And he became a friend of mine, and we would see each other in the same situations. And then it turned out that we would talk every day via text or emails, or at the time it was AOL Instant Messenger, and we would hang out as friends, in groups of friends. And I was 19 or 20, 19 when we first met. We started dating when I was 20. No, I met when we were 18, and I started dating when I was 20. And yeah, it just was a friendship that evolved into something else. I went through a really horrendous breakup, and he actually somehow became my shoulder to cry on, and then it turned into a little bit more and a little bit more, and before you knew it, we were having a baby and moving in with each other and all those things. Did you play hard to get? Not intentionally, because I was his friend and I didn't think anything more of it. But at the time, or after, the time, I learned that he was trying to get into a relationship with me and things like that. But I don't play games. There's just no time for it. Did you know he was the one right away? Did he know you were the one? I knew it was something different, because I wanted to fight for the relationship, and it was the first relationship that I wanted to fight for. I remember we had a really bad fight because I was debating on moving down south, and I was ready to go, and he was having a really hard time with it, and we had only been together for a short amount of time. We were together for around 6 months when this happened. And I was ready to move, and he was having a really hard time with it. And the fight ended up turning into, well, in 5 months, we're going to move in with each other. But that was kind of whenever I saw, wow, he really wants this relationship, and he's really ready to fight for it. And, there was little situations like that, or I was spending all of my free time when I wasn't working with him, and I was okay with that, and I loved it. And it was even us just chilling out at my apartment or his, and you realize that wow, things are changing. I don't want to go out anymore. I just want to spend my time with him. And even if it was grocery shopping or whatever, we were truly enjoying it. And then we moved in with each other, and we had Trevor before we were married. And, we were raising a little family, and I decided to quit my job and had full confidence in him that he would support me and support Trevor. And we left states, and, then we slowly got engaged and got married, and then later had more kids. But, yeah, I truly confided in him and put all trust in him, knowing that he could take care of me. And he was working his butt off to take care of us. And it was just, you know, those little things that just kind of showed me the type of man that he was, and the type of family that he wanted to have with me. And it was just really nice to see. What qualities did your husband love about you when you were first dating? He loved my determination and he always makes fun of my like OCD-ness, but he loves it. Like, he thinks it's funny how like I am very particular in the way that I do things, the way that things look, the way that I'm OCD. He loved that about me. He loved the way that I was so caring and willing to take care of everyone around me at a drop of a hat, and just very selfless, and it's just who I am. I like helping others, and I like being there for people, and it's just who I am. Did you have a timeline for marriage? No, but we got engaged in August, and our plan was to get married the next like September, October. Like, I wanted a fall wedding, and then we decided that maybe we should do it in the spring. And so it was like end of April that we were thinking. And then that December we found out I was pregnant with Aubrey, and it was a huge surprise because we were going through like Clomid treatments and all kinds of stuff to have a second baby, and it was a really hard time. I wanted to have all my kids before I was 30. So we were really pushing, and then all of a sudden we got the surprise of our lives that we were pregnant. And so then we're like, okay, I guess April it is, because I would be very new pregnant because I was due with Aubrey in September. So I would be kind of new pregnant and not really showing, and it is what it is. And in retrospect, I wish we didn't do it that way. I wish we would have waited, or, you know, whatever. But, I mean, I have a lot of regrets about my wedding. But, I mean, it is what it is. But we didn't have a timeline per se for, like, when we wanted things done. It was kind of like, oh, now we're pregnant, so we need to do things a different way. Did you have to nudge your husband towards marriage? No, my husband had to nudge me towards marriage because I was perfectly content living the way that we were living. I didn't feel like you needed to be married to have kids and have a life and a family together, because we were doing it and we were rocking it without the wedding name and ring and, you know, paper. But I knew that it was something that was important to him. So, you know, obviously I knew he's going to be the person that I spend my life with. I have 4 children with him. We have a life together, but, he definitely had to push me a little bit more because I'm just, I guess, a non-traditionalist in that way. How did your parents influence the kind of marriage you wanted? I wanted to have everything that my parents didn't have, and everything that they had I didn't want. My parents were awful. They are oil and water. They will never get along. It was a horrible time when they were together. I remember it vividly as a child, and I refuse. I don't fight with my husband around my kids. I don't blame my kids for stuff my husband did. Just day and night. I don't look to anything of their marriage because it was awful. It wasn't even a marriage. It was just, even their relationship now disgusts me. They're just like immature children when it comes to each other. But, you know, it is what it is. Weddings and marriage. What did you love most about your wedding? I loved that it was a smaller wedding. We had about 100 people there. It was a very small affair, very close-knit, very close people within our, you know, at the time we both had like working relationships. I no longer have those, obviously. Close friends and family. There was a lot of drama at my wedding, so I kind of wish that like his family wasn't there. And if we had the dream wedding to do things over again, we would go off to an island somewhere, and we would take our very close friends and our very close family and their kids and our kids and spend a week on a beach, have renewal ceremony there, and just have it be a party and not this big formal fancy affair, because that's just not us. Sorry, my tablet keeps shutting off. What elements of your wedding didn't matter as much as you thought they would? I guess all the little details don't really matter. Your centerpieces, I don't remember what my centerpieces were. I don't remember what my cake looked like. I think you need to really focus on who's there, how much fun you're having. I would say definitely invest in like a really good DJ. We didn't, and I regret that. I wish that I videoed my wedding. I wish I had more pictures of my wedding. But again, I was young. I was 23 when I got married, and 24, 23. And I was just young. I don't know. Things would be a lot different. I would have taken a lot more time to plan my wedding. I would have really researched more into doing different things. I would have made it a very close-knit affair. Is the first year of marriage really the hardest? I don't think the first year is hard of marriage. I think the first year of living with someone is hard. For us, the first year of living with each other, we had gone from living with, you know, our families or ourselves to living with each other and having a brand new baby. That was really, really, really hard. Learning each other's little quirks, learning how we lived our lives, learning that I am a morning person, he is not. He snores, I don't. Dealing with a baby, I am a clean freak, organized. I like the house a certain way. He is like a piler and likes to put stuff on the counters and not take his shoes off. So little things like that were definitely very, very hard. And each year they get easier and easier. And now he can almost read my mind and know things that are bothering me and helping and things like that. So I wouldn't say necessarily the first year of marriage, but definitely the first year of living with each other was hard. If you are religious, how's your faith influenced your marriage? We're both not super religious. We both believe in God, but it's not like anything like that, so it hasn't. What advice would you give newlywed couples? I would say make sure you're marrying your friend. Make sure that you no longer have a best friend, that your best friend is either your mom or your spouse or both. Having a solid friendship will only make your romantic relationship, your relationship with your spouse, the relationship with the father or the mother of your children that much stronger. Don't focus on the little petty stupid things. Just focus on the big picture. You're gonna fight, you're gonna argue, you're gonna love each other to death. You're gonna have your days when you want to be so far away from that person that it's not even funny. But in our marriage, Jeff and I have slept apart twice since we've been together in 10 years. And I think that's really big, that we refuse to go to bed angry. We refuse to go to bed in separate beds. We just refuse to live our lives apart. We really try to make sure that like the weekends are our time together. We try to make sure that we go on dates. We go on date nights every like 6 to 8 weeks and we need it. It's like definitely something for us. But that's Jillian's tag. Hopefully it was informative. I mean, I'm not a pro by any means. I'm still learning. I have only been married since 2007. So I'm still learning and we're still a work in progress, but each year it just gets stronger and stronger. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.